Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records and back from Chicago, back from seeing the legendary AC/DC at Soldiers Field in Chicago on Saturday, the 24th of May. It's my second time seeing the band. Last time was on the Ball Breaker tour in '96. And it was a blast. You know, we bought these tickets, I think, in December. A bunch of guys that grew up together from high school jumped in a 6-passenger SUV and drove up from St. Louis and met some buddies there. Met a good friend in Chicago. And, it was a great trip. And, it's nice when you make a plan and you stick with the plan and the night and the plan turns out great. AC/DC was wonderful. The stadium, I had never been to Soldiers Field. I've always wanted to see shows there. I've seen shows at Comiskey, seen shows at Wrigley, Tinley Park, Ravinia, Congress Theater, Rosemont Horizon, lots of different places, the Auditorium Theater, but never seen a show at Soldiers Field, and it did not disappoint. Legendary football stadium and venue. The Pretty Reckless opened up. We just completely missed them and just hung out in the corridors of the stadium and then got to our seats for the show, and they opened up with If You Want Blood. One of my first band experiences when my band was forming, and prior to me being the singer, we had a singer, Scott, and he loved that song, and we were covering If You Want Blood for weeks on end, trying to get it right. And that was my first introduction to that. They opened up, and that sounds kind of appropriate. Then Back in Black, immediately the crowd's completely engaged there. Which is an iconic song. Next, they went with something new off their Power Up album, which is their most recent record from 2020, and that was Demon Fire. That's a really cool record. If you like AC/DC, listen, the formula is pretty simple. It's just standard tuning, power chords, and rocking with drums that fit the bill, and one of the great singers of all time. Let's talk about the lineup. Of course, we still have founding member Angus Young on guitar. He's 70 years old. In his energy level, tone, he does not use foot pedals. It's all about a Gibson SG. He seemed to play 3 different SGs, one with a white pick guard at one point, and a Marshall amplifier. There's no effects pedals. He gets his effects by either lightly strumming the guitar for a clean sound or digging in with that pick for a heavy sound, and it's just classic. The great Brian Johnston on lead vocals. Brian sounded great. Brian is 77 years old. He's going to be 78 this fall. Brian looked great with his kind of stance where he kind of prowls around. Just a great entertainer. Just the way his facial expressions. He's having a blast, knocking me out with those Chicago thighs. Anyway, we then have Chris Chaney on bass. Chris Chaney replaced Steve Avery in Jane's Addictions in 2002. He was on the Strays album. He played with them for like 15 years off and on. He's played with Alanis Morissette on multiple tours. And speaking of that, Matt Laug, L-A-U-G, is the drummer. He also performed and toured with Alanis Morissette, but also played with Slash's Snake Pit. Check out that record from Slash's Snake Pit. I'm still recovering, by the way, from the show, but great drummer, Chris Chaney. Cliff Williams, of course, is retired. Phil Rudd, I think, is essentially retired. And then Steve Young on guitar, playing Malcolm's rig, playing Malcolm's guitar, playing Malcolm's amplifiers. This is the cousin. He was born in 54. I think he's like 54, 57. I think he's like 67 years old, something like that. Anyway, band was great. The lineup was great. Shot Down in Flames was next, which I believe is off the Highway to Hell album, right? Yeah, Highway to Hell, Shot Down in Flames. Another kind of deeper track. And then we get into Thunderstruck, of course. Then we get into Have a Drink on Me, Hell's Bells, Shot in the Dark, which is also off the most recent record, Power Up. Check out Power Up. Again, if you like AC/DC and you've heard these other songs 18 million times, it's going to be familiar to you. You're still going to like it. It's very good. Stiff Upper Lip was next. Highway to Hell. My favorite song, maybe, Shoot to Thrill. Too Many Women and Too Many Pills. Sin City. Deeper track. In fact, I'm not even sure what Sin City is off of. I guess it's off of Power Edge? Yeah, Power Edge. Deeper track even for me, but that's great. Lots of Bon Scott era represented here. And why not? Rock and Roll Train, which is on their previous record prior to Power Up. Rock and Roll Train was on the Black Ice album. That was like 2009. Cool song. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Then High Voltage. High Voltage Rock and Roll, right? Riff Raff, again off of the Power Edge album. Just an awesome song. Just an awesome deeper track song. You Shook Me All Night Long. Again, knocking me out with those Chicago thighs. I think he did say that. Whole Lot of Rosie. I mean, how can you not play that song? She's a whole lot of woman. And I think it summed up the night. It's a whole lot of everything going on that night. We partied hard. Our good buddy Andy made some great recommendations on restaurants, and we just had a blast. Had our own kind of private area at Chicago Cut Steakhouse, and got taken care of really well by like 3 waitresses. And we had plenty to drink and eat and everything else. We took Ubers out to the show. I think we walked back, long walk back to the Wit. Whole Lot of Rosie, then Let There Be Rock. With an extended guitar solo by Angus. Angus at one point was just playing straight up solo guitar unaccompanied. I mean, and when you have that kind of melody and that kind of just vibe, the evening was, obviously it's a vibey evening with that guitar, but that tone, it's just what rock is. There really isn't a bigger band in the world than what these guys are. Maybe Metallica, but AC/DC's before that, and Iron Maiden, maybe Encore, then TNT, and then for those about the rock, we salute you, Fire, and there was fireworks at the end. It was just a wonderful night. I want to thank Chris for driving us up there, and my partners in crime, Billy and Jeremy from our band. Dorian, our drummer, was also there taking his son, who's now become a rock fan, Gabe, playing guitar. So we didn't see those guys, but they were up there. Travis McGowan, just a fun guy, Mike Schleter. Just a great gang of friends, and having those friends and being able to experience a great show like this with your buddies, it makes it even more special. So it's one that we'll never forget. Check out my channel. We talk about rock every day. I did shoot a video right after the show that I thought about gluing onto here, but it doesn't necessarily show me in the best light, even though what I'm saying is true. It's all about vibe. It's all about rock. It's all about, you can't fake AC/DC. You can't kind of half-ass it. It's an all-out experience. It's like playing in the NFL. You can't just twinkle toe around the field. You have got to be there and ready to get rocked and ready to take a hit and deliver a hit. And that's what they do. They deliver hits, and they deliver a vibe that makes you feel like you are back in 1982 or whatever. And some things never change, and AC/DC hasn't. Check out my channel. Subscribe if you like this content. Peace out. Thanks again, guys. Thanks, everybody, I hope I didn't forget anybody. It was just fantastic. See you.